Thanks, Jeff, for leading us in worship. I enjoy the music here. You know, it's always kind of surprising that we have that kind of music in a Baptist church, but I like it. And this isn't Calvary Chapel. In fact, I don't think you hear that kind of music in Calvary Chapel. Am I right? I think this is probably a little more edgy, but I like it. Glad we have it. I thought I'd wear a matching shirt. Does it look like it matches anything? It matches the red. I don't have much in red. But, you know, when I got up this morning and I looked in the mirror and saw that I kind of looked like a lobster, I said, well, what can I wear that will match, that won't hurt too much when I put it on? Yeah, my neck is red. I enjoyed yesterday. I enjoyed being with you that came out and helped us, you know, just in simple outreach to our community. Do we really love those people that live here, those people that we saw on the street yesterday? Do we really love them? Do we love them enough to give up what our plans were and what normally we would do on a Saturday and spend time? Yeah, we handed out gum, and I think that was a non-confrontational way to make contact. We made, I think, hundreds of contacts yesterday. The publicity that Lee wrote for the paper came out on Friday, and it just seemed like people were surprised to see me. They say, oh, geez, you sort of look like your picture. And I thought that was good. But it was a good time of getting to pray with people. I noticed that we got to pray with people early in the morning and late in the afternoon. And although Paul Garcia, I saw you praying with people all day long, but it seemed like the opportunities were greatest early when there were few people and late when there were few people. But the masses of people were there right in the middle of the day. It was a good time. We handed out cards yesterday, in addition to the other things that you knew we were going to do, inviting people to spend Mother's Day with us. I'm going to ask right now, Chris and Eli, can you help Chris? I want everybody, excuse me, I want everyone to get about 4 cards, and then I'll tell you what I want you to do with these cards. Make sure every person here, there's not that many of us, so we've got way more cards than we've got people. But make sure that everybody, Eli and Chris, get about 4 cards, and I'll tell you what I want to do with these cards. Mother's Day is next Sunday. We want to honor our moms. If you're not going to be with your mom in your mom's church, well then bring your mom here to Trinity if you can. And we really want to do what we can to honor the moms in our community as well. The reason we're handing cards out is that you can take these cards, if you're getting 4, and you might need more. Take those cards and hand them out this week. I want you to think while I talk and while I preach maybe. And today, who can I give these 4 cards to? Invite them to honor their moms by spending Mother's Day here at Trinity with us. You know, I've not been to a Mother's Day at Trinity. I don't know if it's a big deal. But I would say, remembering my mom, and of course now the mother of my children, Mother's Day is a big deal. If not to us men, it is to our women. Now, that's just the way it is. Mother's Day, I think when Father's Day comes, we can say, well, Father's Day is a big deal too. Well, not to us men. It doesn't seem like it ever has quite the importance to us that Mother's Day has to the women in our lives. Let's bring next Sunday as a special occasion. You know, about 4 times a year, we will plan days that we can use as big days. I'm just going to call Mother's Day kind of a big day. It's not as big of a day as I would like to have made it, but you know what? From the time that I was installed until now has only been a week or so. But we're going to do things about 4 times a year that will give you a special opportunity to invite people. We're going to give you invite cards every time. We'll have cards printed up. In this case, Mother's Day cards. But we will, about 4 times a year, have cards and ask you to make a special attempt to invite your friends here to spend the day with us. I like Christmas time. It's not my favorite time of the year. I've got to be truthful with you. But it's a good time, and now that I'm a grandpa, it's a better time. It was fun when my kids were small, and then my kids grew up, and what they expected was bigger stuff, you know. But then I've got grandkids, and they're happy with just anything. And I do like that. Just in case you're wondering, what is my favorite time of the year? It's Thanksgiving. How many of you feel like that? To me, it's just non-commercial. Raise your hand if Thanksgiving's... Now, isn't that surprising? I think culturally, we're abnormal. Because culturally, I think Christmas, the big commercial push, is everybody's favorite time. Now, as Christians, I suppose it should be our favorite time, but Thanksgiving actually turns out to be more of a family time, no pressure, other than on Black Friday, that you get up at 2 or 3. I'll probably never in my life will I ever do that. But I know Black Friday can be a little bit of pressure. Get out there and arm wrestle with the other people in line as to who gets what. After Christmas, it's a time of taking things back. And usually, if I'm going to take something back, I'll usually wander down to the Sears store, because we have one, and take a look at all the stuff that I should have gotten. And kind of in my mind debate, now should I take something back so that I can get what I really want? And sometimes, if I'm lucky down at Sears, a clerk will come by and say, can I help you? And if I'm returning something, I like that. I say, yes, you can help me. Other times, you know, I'm just in the Sears store wandering around, looking at all. Usually I go to the tools. If Betty's with me, it seems like we'll make it up to the appliances or to somewhere else, you know, little dishes and things that are not quite as interesting to me. But I do like the tool department, and I kind of look at it and say, geez, I never saw that before, and what could I do with this? And I like wandering around. Almost 300 years ago, Robert Robinson, one of our really good hymn writers. Now, we don't sing a lot of hymns, but you know what? It's interesting, I think, again, at this church, that we have a mix from time to time of a hymn that might be hundreds of years old with songs like the one you just did, which was written how long ago? A couple years ago. And so we've got a mix of things that are hundreds of years old and things that are a couple years old, and it's kind of eclectic. And I guess we're an eclectic bunch. And I like that. About 300 years ago, Robert Robinson wrote words that I think still have meaning today. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. It seems like wandering is okay at the Sears store, looking around, just kind of going up and down the aisle. But in our spiritual lives, I don't think wandering is something that we ever want to admit to. It's not something that's really desirable. Robert Robinson died at 55. He was born to a widowed mom. His dad died after he was conceived. Died at 55, wrote some famous hymns. His later years were ones of dysfunction in his life, depression in his life. They were very difficult years. And he was riding in a coach one afternoon, and there was a young woman on the opposite seat facing him, humming a song that he had written. Didn't know him at all. And when she finished humming the hymn, she says to him, she said, not knowing, of course, that he had written it, "Did you like that song? Do you like that hymn?" Robinson said it brought him back years to when he was close to the Lord and close to God. And the difficult years had come and had robbed him of something. And he said that he had tears flowing down his cheeks as he turned to her. And he said,